Painter. In this video we're going to show you how to remove shutters that have easy lock shutter buttons on them. These do not have screws that are screwed into the house, but rather they got shutter buttons, and they won't come out just by pulling them out because they have barbed easy lock buttons on them. And we're going to show you how we remove them. We actually start off, you want to have a few tools in hand. You're going to have a hammer, and you're going to have a 5-in-1 tool that we use, and then we actually use a pair of wire cutters to actually pull the buttons out or clip them off if we have to. You just want to take your 5-in-1, just get them underneath the shutter button, and you're going to tap them lightly till it actually cuts the button off. It's going to cut the face of the button off. Now you could actually, once the face of those buttons are cut off, now you can remove the shutter, and it actually leaves the other portion of the button still in the house. And then you're going to there we go. We had a couple of them that actually broke off. So on this shutter out of 6, there was 2 of them that actually busted off, and so we just take and we're going to clip the end of it completely off, and then we're going to take a flathead screwdriver and we're going to tap it inside till it falls inside the house. Now we're going to just take a flathead screwdriver on this one that busted off, take that screwdriver, tap it in, and it'll just fall into the empty space in the back of the house. Now you have your empty hole for your new shutter button. Sometimes when you go to tap them in, they're going to hit possibly a stud in the back. Then you're going to have to get a drill, and you'll have to drill that button out and create a new hole. Take your 5-in-1, slightly tap on them. It doesn't create, you don't have to use a whole lot of force, it just cuts the end of that shutter button off. I don't know why we call them shutter buttons, but they're easy lock shutter buttons. You can see there's typically a lot of wasp and hornets behind that you gotta clean out. Lightly grip it. If you grip it too hard with the wire cutters, it actually cuts the plastic, so you gotta be careful and just barely grip it. Rock it back. And we like these wire cutters because they got a round head and it creates leverage. Then you're going to, when you're done, you want to clean all the hornet's nests off, and then we're actually in the process of power washing this house. So we'll power wash the opposite sides of the shutters, and power wash where we just took off the shutters and get rid of all the hornet's nests and bugs. That's one right here that's actually hit a stud because it's right next to the window, so we'll have to get a drill and just drill that one out. So now we got the ones up against the window, they're actually hitting the stud that's the framing around the window. So we just take a 1/4-inch drill bit, and we're going to just drill that plastic into that plastic button right out. And it usually just drills the plastic out really easy because the surrounding the plastic is the wood hole, and the wood hole is harder, and so the plastic drills out pretty easily. Look at the easy lock shutter fasteners that we use when we reinstall the shutters. We just purchased these from Home Depot, and they sell them in packs of 12, and then you're just going to tap new ones in the way just like if you were hammering a nail. And they've got barbed hooks. You can see what the barbed hooks look like, and they'll just tap right back in. And then they're paintable to paint the same colors as your shutters. I'm gonna start putting these shutters back up, and we got Gamo here is putting the easy lock fasteners in first, and the pre-drilled holes in the shutters. Want to make sure when you install the shutters that you install them right side up, because once they're installed, if you install them upside down, you're going to have to cut the fasteners off again and reinstall them correctly. So the shutters go in, the arched side is up first, the flat side goes on the bottom. We've got our shutters, we've labeled them, put tape on the back with an arrow pointing up, so it's a reminder to us how they're installed. We've actually pre-painted these shutters. We didn't paint them, they're stock white, and the Easy Lock fasteners were kind of a light tan color, so we put them on a cardboard and pre-painted them. And then when you're hammering them, if they get scratched at all, you can just touch them up. If you're installing the shutters for the first time, you're going to have to drill new original holes. These shutters were already installed, so we removed them, so we already got pre-drilled holes that will be reinstalling the shutters on. Now we're going through the installation process and putting the shutters on. Just using a hammer, you're just going to tap them in. You want to make sure you tap them in lightly and don't over hammer them in, which will cause an indentation on the shutters because they're just plastic. So you want them just to go flush to the shutter, and you don't want it to cause the shutter to bend. If you're putting them in too tightly, the shutter will actually bend. So just take your time, just tap them in lightly to right before it gets flush. Then the shutter's installed.